guys, welcome to the stream. Obviously, we've got the close here, and the close is coming in red with new concerns all over the board. Or is there really that many concerns? So the narrative is now switched to old base of different things. Now we're talking about inflation, we're talking about tapering, we're talking about interest rates. They've thrown the kitchen sink at the discussion points, and it's not even about the first thing that ended up happening, which was the virus. So we come in here at support for the Nasdaq, and look, it's actually the scenario I thought we wouldn't see yesterday just yet, but it has come down. We talked about the resistance here. Obviously, this is a very important zone. We knew this coming into the close yesterday. It closed right at the resistance. Hopefully, no one tried to buy that thing up because there was no closure above under the significant time frames. And while we did see a little bit of a rally early, it came straight back up here and then sold off from that resistance. So look, that was definitely the rally that a lot of day traders would have looked at. We didn't get that follow through. We need that follow through. Obviously, closure above the 16,425. That would have led to bigger gains. Very important. But we're down here. We're coming into the close. You don't really want it to close underneath here. Because if it does, it shows further weakness. What's holding up the market today? It's actually Apple. Apple randomly is up 2.02%, while the rest of the stocks are down. So we'll just go through these indices first, talk about each one of them separately, and then we'll get into everything else. So market in general, having a little bit of a hissy fit. Do I think it's warranted? Look, you can always say that there's always some kind of reason that you could sell off. I mean, is it unusual for this time? Not really. I mean, but unusual things do occur. We'll have to watch the TA a little bit here. I'm just reading the news. What have we got here? Do we have anything in particular? It doesn't look like we have anything in particular that's a standout. It's just a whole bunch of excuses. What do you guys think about this market right now? Obviously, a few people are going to be like, yes, this is bad. Trio says the COVID variant wasn't known when we started the dip in November 22nd. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, we moved down over here. So, November 21st, we moved down. So 22nd, we move down. And then, of course, we have that freak out event over here. That's true. I don't really feel like it's a big, massive concern at the moment in the markets. I mean, I mentioned yesterday in the video, that's really all about these weekly 20s. And weekly 20s are the key. So we did have a large move up. If we move down to a weekly 20, let's just say that happens. It's not inconsistent with normal market movements. Okay. Normal market movements are 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's pretty consistent like that. So it's not bad. I mean, I still maintain, unless you get underneath this 20 moving average, you close underneath this. Okay, cool. Well, we can start to panic a little bit. The movement down to the 50 will certainly become the bigger discussion here. J Powell testifies today. Yeah, that's a big thing. But I wouldn't really necessarily freak out, I guess is what I'm getting at. Let's just go back to that 2-hour chart. So we're actually stuck here at the support. Now, it is trapped. So we've got the correct trapping zones, which means that you guys have got the correct resistances and supports. Like if you didn't have those, then you wouldn't understand why the market's stopping at these levels. These are exactly what we signed up and put up yesterday at the close level. We're going to close around this support. Now, if we hold here, let's say we shoot through, is that a good sign for the next day? No, not really. Is this a good sign for the next day? Well, it's a lot of volatility. And when you get that volatility coming through, it can tend to sell off. Let's see what the big kahuna is doing. It's all about really the S&P 500. So S&P 500 has created a new low here. So in essence, you have a kind of like a peak, a trough, a lower peak, and then a lower trough. Now, it's only a marginal close. So let's have a look at the SPX instead of the futures. And I think you'll find that it's actually a bit more than a marginal close. Here's the trend line that we talked about. So here it is right here. Let's just go to the daily for a second again. So let's go to the daily 50 exponential moving average, right on it on the close. Okay, so we're right around that zone. And then we go to the weekly and we say, okay, well, where are you weekly? And you're sitting around that 45.30. So what I want to tell people this is if you're trying to load and bag and do all these types of things, when a VIX is above 20, you've got really two choices. And I said this to the mentoring guys last night. If you're above 20, what kind of trading style do you think you probably stop doing? Can anyone think of a trading style you might stop doing? SPY monthly candle doesn't look good. Let's have a look at the monthly. So the close monthly. That's true. Looks like crap. Looks really bad. Massive shooting star. Last time we got a massive shooting star where you saw what happened after. Swing, that's right. Yeah. You stop your swing, guys. You've got to focus more on the scalp, more on the day trade, and more of the investment levels. Swing becomes very, very tough. You don't want to be swinging in this kind of market. Thank you also to the 435 people joining us. I appreciate that, guys. One sec. I'll just fix this up. So we don't really want to swing. You want to be more looking at the day trade, at the turnarounds, at all those things. And of course, when you're talking about which is the strongest market, we're usually going to go with the NAS. And the NAS is the strongest. The US 500 gives us the best kind of support resistance, usually in terms of key zones. And that's why it's closing right around that 50. And I think the market's showing us that it's scared, but it's not quite prepared into this close to give us signals that, okay, we're really weak. Now, if you look at the Dow is prepared to say, okay, we're breaking low. This is really weak. Let's turn around. I mean, we're getting back on the Dow, if you can believe it, back to May 21. That's how weak the Dow's been. So the Dow's return, May 21. It's really been terrible. This is why I don't focus on the Dow, and I think it's trash. Because there are companies in here that are not going to do very well. So you had that run initially in 2021, and then it's just sat there stagnating for months and months and months. And it's because of the companies that are in it. But yeah, look, the Dow is not going to give us the big signal. It's going to be the US 500 or the US 100. And at this stage, coming into the close, we're closing right around that 50 moving average. Remember, use the SPX to get the correct zone. We're closing right here. It's not positive. Certainly is not. Would I buy this dip? Some investors may look at it, but swing traders and scalpers and all of those type of things. Well, swing's going to stay out. Scalping and day trading could come in. Taking these closes here, not really fantastic. It's more of a guess. So usually you wait for that next session. If you'd waited for yesterday's Nasdaq close, you would have seen it hit the resistance, and then you can make a better informed decision in the next day trade in terms of if you want to sell, if you want to get into that short. IWM is trash too. Yeah, well, IWM is going to go down quite a lot here. IWM's return is worse than the Dow. Yeah, of course. IWM did rally here though, which is very interesting. So IWM gets absolutely smacked with a big stick. It's down underneath that, even that support. It's basically showing us that it wanted to do a bit of a false break at this stage. I mean, do I still think it can turn around? Of course, any index can. But this is not playing out here. So this is basically the breach. Have a look at the monthly here. You'll see a massive rejection back in. Ideally, when you're looking at these breaches, you want the monthly to come with it as well. Otherwise, what does it start to look like? It starts to look like a massive Wyckoff distribution. You don't really want that. So look, yes, the daily is pretty terrible here. The only good thing is that it actually is rallying into close, which is bizarre considering the rest of the stocks, hey? So there's the rally here. It's up from the bottom about 1.51%. But look, yes, I mean, it hasn't actually turned around once through the falling knife. And we've got to remember that once you had that breakout, which confirmed a few days of good day trade, it fell off. And in yesterday's video, I talked about waiting for confirmations. I chucked this resistance down, 226. It will really save you from making poor decisions on getting into investments off this. But yeah, it's underneath. It's not really looking very good. The only positive sign is that it's rallying relatively hard into the close. So we are seeing relatively decent rally here in comparison to the rest. 1.41 up, and look at it go. It's still finding some buyers. Now, the US 100 is holding as well into the close. So it's come down to that support. Looks like it's just holding around, which is very important. And this is what we want to see. All right, let's go over the question here. Certainly small cap has been ignored this year. People are shell shocked and they haven't rotated into them yet. Yeah, that's true, Kevin. That's absolutely the word. Just so you know, the word of the day is transitory. Oh my goodness. No more transitory. And Nick Nasty says, everything is trash and or overvalued except for silver. All biotech is up, says PK Subban. Let's quickly scroll through here. Yeah, Edit, Beam, CRISPR, they are all up. How cheap's Beam now? 78. Cool. Okay. Pretty interesting. And then we have everything else being relatively down. All that hyper stock kind of stuff's down quite hard. Obviously, these stocks seem to be dying. The AMC and the GMEs and stuff. That's a bad close for it. This stock, getting underneath these previous lows with the closure, certainly not very good. And if it keeps going down here, is this trade over? Is it done? What do you guys think? Do you reckon AMC, GME, they're done ski? I mean, GME obviously had that little bounce recently. I know no one talks about them anymore, but that's important. Let's have a look at this index that we played with yesterday. So that's the TAN index. So TAN index still floating around. I like momentum follow through. Once you start to think about momentum follow through more than just catching the falling knife, you won't get stuck into as many bad situations, which is going to be really important here. Look at this rally. There's a bit of rally here off our support. I like this. Yes, this is good. For a lot of traders, they'll be on this 15-minute and they'll be saying, okay, cool. I've got my little miniature resistance in here. This is what you do, guys. You're looking for that miniature resistance and you're saying, okay, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, breach, trade that baby up. That's what they're looking for. Chris Smith says, I say that because I FOMO'd on IWM. It's personal. Look, the story was compelling and I understand it, Chris. It's a bit of a shame. Hopefully this pull up if you're still in it. And if people are still in it, I assume they didn't trade it. I assume that basically they're looking at it from an investment standpoint. Crisp's been beaten down, yes. PayPal at 180 right on support. Let's have a quick look. Yep, PayPal bounced off the bottom of our range here. Let's have a look at the weekly. You are correct. That is a fairly important zone for it. Daily here. Again, a sell-off into a bit of a rally. So a lot of people are saying, oh, the market's overvalued all over the place and stuff. But there are a lot of stocks that have come down. It's not like that February period where the Rokus of the world were going insane. The Zooms of the world were going crazy. Every SPAC in the country was going nuts. I mean, PayPal certainly doesn't look healthy here, but it is forming some buying wicks around this zone. And yeah, then you look for the accumulation base to occur. And if we breach that accumulation base, well, of course, then you're looking at that trade style area. My silver play had a good day. So you were selling it, I guess. Or are you talking about stock? Stocks can go to the other thing. All right, let's have a look at gold here because this is one that's very annoying. So it's come up. It's hit the top of our range. It hasn't breached. And we've seen sell-off. This is not a positive thing for gold. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. It looks kind of crap. So we've got here 1 hour, 11 minutes till the close of the daily. Most gold traders will be looking for this to ramp before the closure, ideally to get back above that 1780. Don't really want it at 1772. That's not ideal. And it just shows you again why understanding the charts is best, because while we would have been very bullish should it break through 1810, the accumulation base would have confirmed. Look at that manipulation. Bam, slam it down, and now we're underneath. And this is unfortunate. I mean, look, obviously, if the seasonal doesn't come into play or this is some type of false breakout, we don't even know. It's not going to be good. But hopefully you've gained through the last 3-4 days of videos, or 3-4 videos that I've done, that it's all about being super patient. Trading is not about being a FOMO expert. If you're going to be a FOMO expert, then you want to probably trade things like Tesla. Okay. And why I say that is because what does this stock do? When it breaks out, it gets huge FOMO in it. You can tell by looking at the left-hand side. You can tell by looking at Tesla here. When it breaks out, the FOMO gets real. What happened before? When it breaks out, the FOMO gets real. If that's the type of trade that you want, which isn't in every stock, it's only in very particular stocks, the breach, the rally, then you've got to trade the FOMO stocks. You've got to be patient. It's boring, guys. It's boring, 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 boring. Thank you very much to the 615 people joining us for the close. We are looking at the US 100, hoping that it can hold around that 16,100-ish plus zone. And of course, the US 500 is coming under quite a lot of pressure here near the end. IWM, strange. It's actually rallied throughout the day after getting absolutely smashed this morning. And if you look at here on the Tesla, we've got the high, we've got the low, we've effectively got a long leg doji, indecision. It's holding quite well, 0.47 up, not down, up. Apple also 2.33%. Let's have a quick look at Apple here. 164, very strong looking closure here considering the market. I'm not really won over by it. But, you know, I'll be more won over if it gets past 165 plus. It's great that it's up. And if anyone's holding it, they're feeling a bit better. Another one that we had relatively strong on the technical charts was Square. And it's still holding okay. So this is the long leg doji, the low, the high, the slight close above, showing us a signal. And that was certainly a signal towards the bull side, the first, you know, strongish signal. And you're not really getting belted for that signal. I mean, obviously, that's why you do TA. It's showing you there's some strength here, and there certainly seems to be still a little bit of strength around that stock. Gold, certainly disappointing, 1772, not great. US oil, new low. Again, you're looking for that turnaround story. Yesterday, we talked about it. We wanted it above here. Find support. An investor may jump on this level, but a trader will have to wait for the turnaround story, and that didn't happen. So oil's just sitting on the bottom. If we have a look at the weekly, yeah, pretty much a full-on hit of the 65. This is the green box we've got drawn up at the moment. We are interested in oil here, but we haven't seen the turnaround story, and that is the important thing. It's just still a little bit early. Market is selling off into the close. Let's just quickly look down the 1 hour. We'll actually have to load up both. There it is, new low here, US 500. Let's just quickly switch both in. US 100. Go to the 1 hour. There's the support. We'll chuck that up. Selling off into the close, and the US 500 is getting pressure on it. This is basically around still a daily 50 EMA. All right. Keep it in the most generalized terms. We're still within a 20 moving average on the weekly. Therefore, you shouldn't necessarily be hugely confirmed. I'll be loading up on Facebook over the next year, says the Forgotten Era. Okay. How my stonks only go up. Peeps doing. Bought the dip. Well, you've got to look at the news, and the news so far has been, you've got now people talking about inflation, now talking about, I mean, you got everything. They've literally thrown the kitchen sink at it today, if you notice all the documents. It's the Omicron, the inflation, the discussion about interest rates, everything's being chucked at the market to try to get it down. You're talking like every concern in the world. If you want to look at a market that's barely getting smacked around, that's the crypto market. Ethereum doing so much better. I mean, Ethereum 4.3% up. One of my favorites, KSM 386, 5.32% up. And when you look at that Ethereum 46.33, it's really outperforming Bitcoin. which again shows really good TA is working out there. Thanks very much, Rajiv. Has Lucid become the new Tesla? Not falling at all? I don't think so. Lucid's more of it's like AMC GME in some ways, where it held up even when the market was falling last time around. A lot of people loving that. Thad says, someone tell Coinbase to allow KSM trading so I can buy some. Yeah, fair enough. What about the materials industry? Did you talk about that? No, I haven't talked about that, Danielle. We're about 5 minutes till the close. Really important closures here. Let's move this over to the SPX. Oops. I just want to show you the daily again. Daily 50. This is that first trend line that we had. You breach underneath this. The next discussion becomes the weekly 20. And you breach underneath the weekly 20, well, then you can start panicking a little bit because at that point you're talking about down here. Do you think there's going to be a Santa rally? Let's ask the chat. So in days like today, people feel like there's not going to be Santa rallies. Let's have a look. What does everyone think in the chat? Santa rally, yes or no? Tell us right now. Lucian says Apple 165 with some dollar bags. Yeah, and then one of the only stocks up. Okay, so we got no, yes, no. Santa rally cancelled. Yes, no. Dogosh says no. Cardano dead. I don't know how that has Santa rally, but Cardano is what? $1.56. Yeah, weak, but not dead. No, yes, no, yes. A lot of money riding on yes, absolutely. Okay. It was pretty split. I would say interesting. PK7 says no Thanksgiving rally. Fair enough. All right. Well, this closed 3 minutes. Nas holding the support for now. Let's see if it can turn around. I'd like if you're feeling bullish on the market, you want that rally to come around here. As we've detailed on the 15-minute chart, most traders will not enter until here. Many people have been talking about swing. You don't use swing during high VIX periods where the VIX is above 20. You bail on that one. And the VIX is still very, very high. S&P 500, 1.96. I understand this is not a great day for a lot of people, but I think you need to put everything in perspective. The market has rallied huge, okay? This is huge. It's a big rally. Look, from here to here, you got a 10% rally. In many years, that's all you get out of the S&P 500. How much is it actually down right now? One sec. I'll get it perfect for you. Here we go. Let's go from the top to the bottom. It's down 3.92%. All right. So it's not down that much in comparison. But a lot of people seem to be heavily leveraged. And I think that's because maybe everyone just thought, okay, Thanksgiving is going to be the greenest thing ever. Everything's going to get great. What I would consistently stick with is something like this trend line has been very, very good at picking it out. You did see that false break. The narrative's changing all over the place. So don't try to follow the news because the news is just going to confuse you. And in general, this is actually not too bad. It's a little bit healthy here. It's okay. If it actually holds around this zone, could be decent. And we'll see how this close ends up. We've got 2 minutes to the close. We are focusing on the indices because I want to see where this Nasdaq closes. Expect bounce on IWM. Yeah, we can put it on the 3 screen if you want. All right, one sec. We'll watch 4 coming into the close. So we've got here US 100. We've got the SPX. Let's load up IWM here. IWM 1.85%. It's actually rallied a little bit and then sold off from that rally. I'll bring this up with the 1 second. Get that up with the 28 here. And the other one we'll watch coming into the close. I guess we'll just look at the Dow as well, since it's another indice. So you get that rally, hits the support, becomes the resistance, closes off down. So here we go, 1 minute, guys, until the close of the bell. NAS is the only one holding up against that, the devils of the pushback. The IWM is certainly not doing it. And there's the close. Straight after the close, IWM rallied there for like a second on the futures. This is the futures market. Here's the close in. Let's have a look at the close in. Check out the SPY as well. Okay, we're going to just go back to a single screen. So you'll notice Dow, whatever. US 100, yes. Turnaround here. Nice. And this one here closes right on the trend. So right on that trend line for the SPY. Still a new low. But wow, we got support on the major here. We've got kind of like a miniature support here. And IWM, the other market that a lot of you guys are looking at, let's have a look, did turn around at the end, but it did come off the lows. So small caps got pummeled, did come off the close. There is still no proper trade signal here. All right, you're just guessing. Guessing is not really what you should be trying to do. If you want to think about better areas, at least that is a heavy support. You know what I mean? Like, I hope this turns around for everyone that's in it. But yeah, that's how I really look at it. Check out this SP. We do need to focus on the indices here, because when you start talking about, here's another thing that's really important, guys. When you start talking about market pullbacks, VIX is above 20. Where do you think you actually make most of your investment decisions or most of your trade decisions for stocks? Nick Nasty says they pumped Apple options at the end, held the entire index up. This is such a joke, man. Fair enough. SPY looks ugly on a day chart. Well, we're going to look at everything here in comparison. We've got the close now, so let's have a look. Why do we look at the index? The reason we look at the index is because when you find supports on the index, let's say you found a support or a resistance or anything like that, by the way, look at that one. Not that it's completed. What that is telling us, or what that is showing us, is it's showing us the top 500 companies. Now, if the top 500 companies set a lot of support, what would we maybe want to do? Well, maybe you don't want to buy the index, but then you can scroll over to your favorite stocks. And most likely, if this is hitting on support, what are your favorite stocks going to be doing? Hopefully hitting support at the same time. And if they are, then you can go and pick up those. So during times of volatility, a lot of people think, wow, I'm going to look at all these stocks. I'm going to find all the stocks. And you'll be getting alerts all over the place. But realistically, what you're really trying to do is you're trying to pinpoint the index or the index of choice to a level of support or a level of turnaround. And when that turnaround occurs, if you don't want to buy the index, you then go and you buy the stocks. It just keeps things simple. So during times of freak out, you don't have to actually sit there going, oh, I wonder which one of my stocks is looking in a buy zone right now. In many ways, you just need to focus on an index. Does that make sense? Tom, do you think this is a delayed historical dip supposed to be around November 12? No, I think this is not unusual. I mean, again, if we go, let's just go back to previous years, okay? So this is obviously a full rally that continues on. But look, there is a little sell-off here, 27th of November, and it comes down and it sells off to what, the 4th of December, and then it rallies, okay? So there's a little top of the December. Let's go back to the previous year. Okay, the previous year was a full-on sell-off fest all the way to Christmas. All right, so let's go to the 17 period. When we come into the end, right around that 1st of December, we get a little bit of a drop-off. Not huge, a little bit of a dip. Then we rally up. Okay. Let's go to 16. 16. Where are we? Okay. 28th of November, a little bit of a dip, rally up. Okay. So around that exact same period, hey? Very, very similar. And look, I'm not saying these are huge dips and this one might be bigger, but what I guess I'm saying is that as long as you're above something like the weekly 20, realistically, these things can be opportunities. And the narrative is getting ridiculous. I mean, you're talking about a narrative, and I might go into a bit of a rant here. And the narrative is literally look at this rally in the futures, the fake market futures. Look at this crap. Look at this. The narrative is insane. It's inflation, it's tax, I mean, I'm not even kidding. Let's look at this together. Look at this. What is this? Wall Street ends lower as taper acceleration worries pile on virus. What do we know about taper? It's in our control, as in it's in the Fed's control. Who cares on the longer term? I don't care. I really don't care. Why do we care? We don't care. It's like, okay, that's the first one. All right, there we go. Thank you very much for writing this article and confusing everybody. Thank you very much there. Stocks tumble as Powell's pivot boost hike wages. Market wrap. All right, whatever. Okay. Fair enough. What else we got here? It's all trash. Analysis. As Omicron plays havoc with markets, share vaccine makers surge. All right, well, that doesn't really matter. But, you get through this and it's going to, let's have a look. I'll just use Control F. Inflation. Wow, look at all our favorite inflation. Look at the inflation words. Inflation concerns. All right. Tapering. Very good. There's all our tapering. Oh, we've got some nice tapering articles today. Very good. Omicron. Oh, plenty of Omicron. Plenty of Omicron. We got this is a little bit of Christmas tree of Omicron. Give me some other words that could be used right now. Hawkish tone. So in general, I don't really fall into when you throw 17 different bits of wording to the market. You've got to be able to cut through the crap. It's one of the skills of life. And right now, what do we have available at hand? Okay, this is all, look, it's early days on, of course, if you want to. I don't really want to get too much into it because I know some people get really upset about it, but please remember this is just the financial discussion about it, okay? So I'm going to put the old OMI there, okay? So the OMI at the moment, the fear is subsiding at this stage, all right? Now, we might have mRNA Moderna guys saying our vaccine is useless against it or partially or whatever, but it looks like it could be weaker. I mean, that's not necessarily a poor thing. Remember, we quote Ackman there. He said, okay, well, if it's more spreadable and it's not that bad, is that actually going to be a positive for the market? It could possibly be. All right, we're talking pure financials here. The inflation, interest rate, tapering, all that stuff is in control of the Fed to a degree. So again, should you be concerned about that? Mostly sell-offs are buying opportunities in that aspect from an investor's perspective. And I think what you need to do, guys, just please always do this. It'll be big brain, the 713 people out there. If the VIX goes over 20, try to stop thinking about swing trading and focus on your scalping and your day trades. Focus on more being nimble and fast in the market. We talk about it all the time. If you get swinging in this kind of market and you're not looking at the day and the hour and the every single time frame, you're going to get ripped up. Could someone in the chat that's been ripped up before please confirm that for me? I don't want it just coming from me. Morning G says cases the highest they were the first wave and no talk of shutdowns. They're not going to do it again. They don't want to. Everyone skitzes about it. And in general, they've got some kind of follow on. We will do the crypto discussion soon. I know people probably want me to focus on particular stocks, but the reality is stocks are going to be hitting supports. They are going to be finding good levels, e.g. what we saw in that PayPal before, but it's all about these indices. What? The Aviator says he lost $1 million being ripped up in 2020. What do you mean? You're talking about swing Aviator? Tell us, man. Oh my god. It's a lot, bro. I feel bad for you. Hopefully you got some back. Koa said, I took a swing trade and got ripped by a share offering. Well, that's a little bit different. That is one of the things about the market. You will get ripped from Andrew Cross. Kenny said he got destroyed doing that. Oh, what do I mean by ripped up? Oh, ripped up's just a slang, sorry. It just means gets destroyed. Yeah, basically your trades will lose. Now look at this aftermarket rally here we're going. Now, where did we just stop on the 15-minute? Where did that rally just kind of go, oh, hey, we've hit a little bit of resistance. Look, the TA works, guys. It's good when you analyze it correctly. And you guys are getting better by the day. I know you are. But at the same time, we've got to try to put ourselves in risk mitigation mode. And risk mitigation mode means that when the VIX is above 20, you can invest, but you're basically just buying zones. Nick Nasty says, Tom, how do you decide where to put your trend lines on the bottom tops of candles and the wick? Generally, you want to go kind of the wick, the whole thing. Sometimes if the wick's gone through though, and the rest are all wicking, and you'll see a body there, one of them might be to the body. Now, it doesn't mean it's the correct way of doing it. So what I mean by that is there might be sometimes a candle like this, but every other one, every other one's done this. So you could draw through that if you have consistency of seeing wicks into that zone. So you're really just looking for the point of interest. It's a good question, Nick. That's what you're looking for. All right. Do we have a response from the man? The man or woman that here we go. I swung TQQ when they were fumbling the relief bill in 2020. VIX was 60 or so. Oh, no, Aviator. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Thad says, I can't get ripped up if I don't sell and don't set stop losses. Just hold my bags till they come back. That is not true, Thad. If you pick the wrong stock, you will get monstered. It hasn't happened over the last year. Most things have gone up. But let me show you some hideous examples. It may come back eventually, but very, very bad. Okay. And let me show you a good old Australian company. Absolute abomination. All right. You can't tell me this isn't during a time of strength in the markets. Okay. That's a downtrend. So just remember, it has to be about the company that you're purchasing in, and it must be getting, a turnaround. TDOC's a good example. That's probably true. TDOC would be very similar to this, but look at this. But what do we notice? Can anyone see here something that's interesting about the AGL? Well, if you're talking about this particular stock, and I know most of you don't have interest in this, but the point is that it's been incredibly declining. It's actually been trading almost like it's in a bit of a descending channel. Not quite perfectly, but that has been going down on a very steep, consistent basis. Its rallies suck. They don't have the normal kind of rally opportunities. I think that's really, really important. Looks like Barber. Well, Barber's another one. So you just got to remember, it's all about quality. And quality, if you're going to not have stop loss, is a big thing. But stop losses are still very, very important for a trader. For an investor that's going to hold bags, well, of course, stop losses aren't really a thing. So the reality after the end of the close here today is that we have seen a rally at the end of the close. The market freaked out. The market's gone back up to 16,231. And then we've got support, and then into a resistance. We've got Cold Steel member for 9 months. Thank you very much, Cold Steel. Appreciate that. Says, good day, Tom. Can you have a look at BGFV? Sure, man. We'll do that for you. So the US 100 has bounced. We'll do crypto discussion in just a second. Made a much better day on crypto in terms of how that's been looking. And we're going to look at big Big Five Sporting Goods Corporation. So it's rallied, dumped, and we're sitting around a support that's been there many times before. Okay. So you're going to have a bit of a maybe box that you're looking at here. Probably a good example for a box. Why you draw your box is because you're trying to get that resistance that broke through before, which is here. Seems like a consistent resistance. 1, 2. Obviously that one's ignored it. Resistance, resistance, breach, and then we got the rally. So what you're doing at this point is you're looking for, yes, is this a little bit of support? Sure. Let's go to the weekly. All right. So there's weekly 20 and weekly 50. It's broken underneath the weekly 20. But it's done that before. So what you're doing is you're really just looking for the turnaround story. There isn't a turnaround story just yet. You need that lightning bolt. You need the accumulation base, double bottom, all of those types of things. Not a fantastic chart, but it is in the buy. It's in the zone. So hopefully the zone can work out. Go back to reading stuff out here. Thomas says NVAX going up again, Tom. We should have approval soon. NVAX. Novavax. Yep, it's holding the zone. That's correct. It's a bit wild, this stock. Like all these biotechnology companies, they go mad both ways. 2050 cross, movement through here. Speaking of biotech, let me just have a look here at ARCG. Then we'll do the crypto. Oh, 63.37. Wow. Oh, oh man, 2021 is not Kathy Wood's year, is it? 63.37. 2022, 2023. I'm going to heavily look at that bio. Bio. 22, 23. Paul Scalia says, signed up for the masterclass yesterday. Thanks so much, Paul. Looking forward to learning more, and the streams are a great addition to the course. You will find many things in the course we talk about regularly. It'll really reaffirm a lot of the discussions. Yes. Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate that. And for anyone else that did participate in the Black Friday sale and got part of the course and stuff, I do appreciate your support very much. I hope it helps you improve your TA, and more importantly, improves the way that you risk manage as well and do everything in the market. So that'll be fantastic. And thank you very much for the support. So these markets have rallied a little bit after the close. All the futures they're now up a little bit here. There they are. There's a little bit of rally. We kind of closed marginally around that 50 on the US 500. Check the SPY. You'll see what I mean. Right around that trend line, it rallied, it came back down, and then it moved up. Okay, we'll do the crypto. We've got one person coming in, though. It's Tack Winwood. Thank you very much, Tack, for yesterday's birthday wishes as well. And $5 says, another good show today. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Tack. I wish that I could have, thank you very much as well, man. I wish that I could have focused on each individual stock, but the problem is here, it's all about indices. And this is going to make you so much less stress, because everyone's probably, how many stocks do you look at during crash days, during market corrections? Tell me this. CRM down? Yeah, let's have a look at CRM, and then we must do the crypto. So CRM moved up and then right back down again. Oh, post-market. Oh, the news. Oh, that's actually, the news has come out. No good. I hate news. News is the devil of the trader. And it's back on the previous resistance becoming the support. I forgot that was coming out today, actually. That's why you don't trade into news. That's a bit annoying. 269. So it's breached all of our beautifulness that we had here. And that's the problem with the news call. You always get that issue. Greg Hartman, $5. Thanks, Tom. Haven't bought you a coffee in a while. Cheers. Thank you very much, Greg. Thank you to you and everyone else that's helping us. Thad says, crash days, I try not to look at anything at all. Yeah, CRM earnings. Yeah, I understand. What's the news? It's CRM earnings. You can see it here, little e. So make sure if you're using TradingView or something like that, you are always aware of the earnings. I actually kind of forgot the earnings was here today. mean, it doesn't make any difference to me. I know that when we talked about it last week and we're talking about this level, I knew earnings was there, so I didn't bother with it because I hate earnings. But yeah, obviously resistance, support, could be an opportunity around here. You have to go look at the fundamental earnings, all those types of things. Let's get into the crypto market. We'll start with ETHBTC. I think that's the best place to start. Let's check out this ETHBTC. We'll use the Binance one. Oh, hello there, Ethereum. Hello there. It's like an altcoin season, but not really all the altcoins. So Ethereum coming through. We have resistances here. Fantastic. I'll just quickly... Ginny says, hate earnings as well. Yeah, earnings is bad. You have to really think about risk mitigation a lot. I mean, in general, yes, all stocks will be optimistic into earnings. But the problem is that you might beat earnings and still have a great beat. But if it rallied in, it might still drop. Ethereum, you've seen that with Apple many, many times. Ethereum breaking through the resistance here. Very nice. Very cool. That's good. So this is the ETH versus BTC. Being rewarded for that in the Ethereum trade. So you notice that the Ethereum has been stronger and it's going to close, it looks like today, above this recent range. Now, is that a super strong signal? I don't really think of anything on these cryptos as super strong signals, but we have had it before. It was relatively good. It does look strong with the FBTC breakout here as well. And Ethereum has been the better one because remember, from the top to the bottom, when we started talking about this, you were down around 4% from the top to the bottom on Ethereum. Now, in comparison, the old Bitcoin, the Bitnoodle, that's down around 16%. So it shows you that when you're looking at your ratios and when you, even though both are technically down from their highs, you can really tell that Ethereum was coming in to shine. Bitcoin came actually down to exactly where we thought it would. Previous support, previous support, previous support, previous support, bounced up. Now, for anyone that wonders about this chart, I would suggest you use logarithmic for the cryptos, especially in your Bitcoin analysis to get your trend lines a little bit better. We have found that's to be better, and I totally agree. A few people have hammered me for a while about it. I agree with you all, okay? So, yes, you are right. It is better. Daily, high, low, close in the middle, long leg doji, 60K remains the really important part for the rest of the crypto market. And if we get through 60, I think we're recovering. Let's go. And we move on up here. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a movement up at this stage. Now, some other people will go into like an 8-hour chart or something, and they'll say, but Tom, what if we got some compression here and then we moved up? Is that an inverse head and shoulders? Well, the answer would be, Timmy, absolutely it would be. Does it really matter? Not really. Patterns don't matter that much. It's more about the left-hand side story and more about what you're noticing on the charts. Everyone gets won over by the pattern. And by the way, click in the link in the description down below, 3 free cheat sheets on candlesticks, patterns, and everything else if you want to get them. But that being said, it's really more about understanding what the market's telling you from a price action base. And a pattern, a lot of people just put it on their wall and they say, head and shoulders, I'm going to trade the distance. That's kind of like the beginner's way of thinking about it. What it really should be is, how is the head and shoulders formed? Where has it formed? What's happened with the right shoulder? If the right shoulder is smaller than the left shoulder, is that good? Chat, let me know. If the right shoulder is smaller than the head shoulder, as in it doesn't go down as far, is that good or not? Chris Lee says BTC about to blow up. I hope so. Tax says I prefer trading indices. Yep, absolutely. What do you think will be the catalyst that flips ETH to being a king over BTC? Will it happen, and how will we know? Ooh, I don't know about that. Liverpool got the masterclass as well. Thank you so much for the support. Let's see. Context is everything. That's right, Fred. Very important. Yes, generally. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, you're correct. If the right shoulder was smaller, it would show us the participation. I guess the buyers would be more committed to the trade. They would be excited. It's effectively FOMO. Think about it. It's come down, it's moseyed on down. If it goes, no, I'm gonna go through sooner rather than later, it's kind of like saying it's a bit of FOMO in the market. People are a little bit excited about the market. So it's a very important aspect to it. Absolutely. So the crypto market in general is looking good. We see movements here out and some of the other stocks. Look at this little 8-hour rejection about to get snapped on something like KSM. You guys know I actually quite like trading that for some reason. Bitcoin, it's floating around 60K remains. We're not really changing anything here. It's looking good. The road to recovery looks okay. Ethereum looks a bit better. ADA, now this is the elephant in the room. And we trapped it up yesterday, and I guess it's still trapped. So this is in a downward trend. We're looking for it to breach. I think it can do it, but it certainly is weakening. And it's been weakening for a while, 156. It's amazing how a coin that's gone from being the biggest coin, the biggest hype in the world, just gets fallen off. And always learn from this. The big hype. Remember the big hype. Does anyone else remember how massive this was? Everyone was like ADA. And this was only a few months ago. And now everyone thinks it's trash. I'm not convinced it's trash, but that's what people are thinking. So it just shows you that this is only a few months. And look at the change in sentiment. Really amazing stuff. So it's back down at a previous resistance, becoming support. We haven't seen the breakup, but we'll watch that through tomorrow's video as well. Ian says the ETH killer. Yeah. Solana, please. Sol and AVAX. Yeah, we'll do Solana. You guys love Solana. Solana still holding up here as a pretty popular coin. Ever since it rallied through July. That was a massive rally. Went massive. It's still sidewaysing now, though. So a lot of people are loving it still. But I always go back to market cap. I think the problem for Solana is going to be market cap. We'll do the current analysis. So I'll still look at that. Good signs. Double rejection here off the 200 or the 197. Let's go to the 4-hour. So the 4-hour here, we have rejection, and then a movement up. Supports. That's good. Do we have a breakout yet? The answer is no. Do we have a little miniature double bottom on the smaller time frames? It's been respected. The answer is yeah, I guess so. Resistance becomes support and it's bounced off that. So it's a little bit of technical trading there. And if it breaches past this, it may have another spurt on it. But I always go back to market capitalization. So when you're talking about something like this and you go to market cap, where is Solana? It's $64 billion. Okay. That is now a very large coin. In fact, it's the fourth largest coin because Tether's not really a thing. And then it's overtaken all of these others. Cardano has been superseded by it. Maybe that's fair. Polkadot's still trading at almost, half of what Solana is. So it's a popular coin, no doubt. It's a popular coin, no doubt. Avalanche I also like. I've liked that for a while. Again, one of those networky style coins. I never hate on the networky style coins. Big rally, big dump. What does this have? Because of the price action being so strong coming into the dump, it's got a lot of price elasticity. I would be careful on AVAX. It's like its first time up. Imagine that. It was at $10 over here. Now 121. That's a big gain. So AVAX is a good coin. Double bottom has happened. Be careful for the bounce into like a fib pullback. So what I'd be doing here is I draw a fib retracement for the whole move. And then I would look at that 78.6 fib. And if we got kind of like a movement up here and we dumped off that zone, it's very symptomatic of kind of like more of a dead cat bounce or even possibly the market turning. It doesn't look like it's doing a dead cat bounce though. It should have already come back up very, very fast. Facebook changes its ticket to MVRS tomorrow. Well, we better add MVRS onto our screen. MVRS. Not going to be able to get that, are we? Let's see what Facebook. What does that? Does Facebook automatically change the ticker when you got it in? Let's have a look. I'm going to add it. Watch it tomorrow. XRP is a stable coin. That's mean. ETH about to blow up. Yeah, ETH's doing quite well. It's following the seasonal pattern. You are right. Yes. Tom, SH Comp, bullish channel. Oh, the Shanghai comp. Let's have a look. Shanghai comp's been very stable in terms of overall. It's moved up and down. I mean, some people would say, well, that's not very stable, Tom. It's what I expect out of this thing. So when you expect it, it's not really that bad. Look, a lot of resistance, as we know, that previous resistance over here, 36. We've breached it once. Let's have a look at the monthly here. The monthly has never breached it. So maybe that's what you're looking at. The problem with this market is obviously going to be the government. It's not exactly super capitalistic on the market, which can cause a lot of issues. In general, good closure for the month. And I think that's probably the big thing we'll be talking about in the S&P 500. The monthly looks hard. Bring out the monthly on your charts. It looks pretty bad. Series of pretty okay movement. The channel that you're talking about is probably this really wide one, and you're kind of in the middle of it. So I don't really think there's that much going on. Maybe you're also talking about like the channel within a channel. So you've got like the closure here, and then you've got your resistance, and you're looking for trades. Yeah, either side. Fair enough. It's all right. Stuck in the middle of the zone for now. Both of these are very valid. You can tell. Look at this. Fantastic. If you're ever wondering how to draw better list lines as well, use a close. Use the line chart. This is the market closes. You will draw better lines doing this. And we've got a super chat that I may have missed. Let me just quickly grab that. Oh, this is from Greg. No, it's not from Greg. Thank you, Greg. Oh, there it is. Danielle Polk, $5. Hex USDC, always teaching you something. Teching you something. Teching or teaching? Hex. I remember when Hex was, everyone was sending me Hex. Oh. Well, obviously no one's sending me Hex anymore. What are we learning? Are we learning that the hype is not necessarily the best? When it gets really hype? Nasty. Almost like a Wyckoff distribution there. Little false break to the upside. Punishes everyone and sells down. It's got a good support right now. Downward trend here on the smaller time frame. Might be the first step to road for recovery. And then you've got the resistance issues around this 0.25, 0.28. SHIB just moved. We'll check that out. Thank you very much, Daniel. Appreciate the support. My thought process here is really just that. Yeah, don't think I'll change it. Pretty much that. SHIB. What's SHIB doing? Broke out of our downward trend. Oh, that's probably why I went on its little rally. Very nice. Do I like it? I think it was a decent accumulation base. I think this candle here was pretty much the go signal. And you got decent gains. I mean, if you trade it, trade. Well, anything else. Up to the top 20%. But can you see why this is not a bad zone for SHIB? It's come down. It's been steadily coming down. It breaches through. And there'll be a few different breaches that occur here. Michael H says, say goodbye to the Super Nintendo SNES rat stock, Tom. Is it gone? It's gone. It's gone. Okay, we'll end with our thoughts about the markets right now. So our thoughts on crypto market overall looks pretty good. ETH still looks like it's going to maintain strength over Bitcoin for now. Bitcoin gets through 60K, very good for the coin market across the board. That's going to be fantastic. Gold is a bit of a doozy. We'll watch here for the last 25 minutes, see what happens there. I'll put a video out about 2-3 hours away. We'll talk about this in some more detail, so definitely check that out. IWM, frankly, disappointing. It had a rally, then failed at the previous support becomes resistance. That's annoying. The major indices did rally up here. You'll notice the futures for the US 100 rallied straight into the resistance that we were talking about. We'll cover that in the channel. And then also the S&P 500 finding some buying pressure here on the futures action. Will it hold through? It needs to hold this support. It's on the daily 50 EMA. If you check the SPY, that's going to be the most important thing. We break through that weekly 20, guys. Weekly 20 becomes incredibly likely at that stage. Thank you very much for the wishes of my birthday yesterday. It's actually the 30th. So in the US, it probably is today, technically. But yeah, appreciate it very much. And in general, the markets are scary, but remember, they're throwing all sorts of mixed messages at it. We've got to be able to cut through it. The inflation discussion, well, whatever to that, in my opinion. The inflation discussion is not, I think, a long-term problem. A lot of people get carried away with this idea that inflation is going to get out of control. I always look at other countries that have focused on huge QE, and it hasn't tended to happen. So I always kind of discount it, though, you know, if you really want to be hugely bearish on it, it is probably there. You can see it across a whole bunch of things. Then we've got the tax side. Well, that's in control to a degree. We've got the interest rate side. That's in control to a degree. And we've got this OMI thing, which may be just a flash in the pan. We'll find out on the daily, and I'll try to bring you the latest information on that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Thank you for the support as per usual. I appreciate it very much. I hope that you guys haven't been belted too much. Always put things in perspective. Where are we in comparison to just a few weeks ago? We're not that bad. I mean, this thing has come up, and we are talking, you know, massive 20 buys for a long time here. It's been incredibly consistent. It rallied 10%. It's weakening here a little bit at a point when it does tend to weaken that first couple of days in December. We went through a few years. It did have that little slump around that period and then went in. Will this be 18? I don't think so. I don't know exactly. The only really bad, annoying one is check out that monthly. So the monthly has certainly closed on the S&P 500. And that is a gnarly looking candle. But we haven't got follow through on another monthly. I tell you what, you go monthly into bearish monthly, then we have something to discuss. But we've seen it before, yeah? Put it in perspective. That didn't work out. That didn't work out. And this one over here, that did work out. As in, like, it kept weakening. This was, of course, the COVID crash, but everything since then, there's been plenty of scary candles. A scary candle with no follow through. Is that really that scary? The answer is no. A shooting star or pin bar or whatever you want to call it is not that strong a technical signal. It's just showing you that the buyers were committed, that at some point they became less committed. The sellers came in, they got control, they closed the candle. Well, that's cool, but it's still just an outlier point without anything else and any other information. When we get the follow through, it tends to continue on. Make sure you revisit the AGL chart. Yeah, I saw there's massive volume on that yesterday, so we're certainly going to come back and look at the AGL chart soon. The trend is your friend until the end, pretty much. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Catch you later. Bye for now.